2 days ago, the Bombay High Court quashed Financial Technologies' plea against the Ministry of Corporate Affairs that sought to oust Ftil'S board of directors, and today the company law board adjourned the matter to the 14th of April. So what does Ftil have up its sleeve? Prashant Desai, MD and CEO of the company, joins us to give us some answers. We have Sajid joining in, and Shireen will also be joining in just a minute. Sajid, I hand it to you.
Thanks, Ravi. We have Prashant Desai, MD and CEO of Financial Technologies with us. Mr. Desai, can you take us through the settlement which you're planning to do for the NSEL investors first?
First of all, thank you for having me on the studio. Sajid, before I get into the settlement and what the contours of the settlement are, I think it's important to lay out the construct of the building blocks and the thought process behind the proposal that we've made to the government of India. I think in front of FTL, we clearly had two paths. There was and I think not just FTL, for everybody involved in this so-called default crisis. The first path is a very clear path of conflict, which everybody is currently going towards, where yes, there is a long tail there. You keep on fighting in a legal court of law. We don't know when the real judgment comes out, and at the end of whenever the legal proceedings decide whoever is the so-called person responsible for what happened, the person or the company will be punished. We believe there is a better alternative, which is a resolution path. As FTL, somebody who has to protect the interest of 63,000 minority shareholders, we believe the path to resolution is a path where we believe there is good for everyone. There is good for the so-called trading clients of NSEL who have to receive these payouts. It's good for the brokers. It's good for the government. It's good for the country per se. It's definitely good for the FTL shareholders. So we've clearly proposed this to the government, considering the fact that all the concerned people over here will probably choose to look at a path of resolution. And in that, our basic construct has been to be fair, equitable, and not just to FTL and its shareholders, but to everybody concerned. That's the assumptions under which what we thought was right. We probably made this proposal. It's in line a very simple construct that we are putting. We believe that everybody will have to chip in if there is going to be a fair and just and equitable resolution. We are saying we are taking the lead. If you remember, about some time back, we had already put 180 crores to take care of close to about 50% payments to about 7,000 trading clients of NSEL. We are saying we'll come up and put another 320 crores, which takes our contribution to about 500 crores. Our view, and our very, very strong view, is that brokers are equally party to this, because you have to understand the privity of the contract of a trading client was with the broker. We had nothing to do with those trading clients. For 3 years, these trading clients used the brokers to probably trade on the platform of NSEL. We somewhere believe these brokers are also now getting caught into this. We believe if the broker also, with the resolution in mindset, pitches in with their 500 crores, we will have close to about 820 crores at the first instance. Now let me share with you, Sanjit, what this 820 crore does. At the first instance, for all the trading clients who are supposed to receive payouts of less than 10 lakh rupees, every single person, 100% of them, which is close to about 7,000 trading clients, get 100% of their money back. For those trading clients who have to receive payouts between 10 lakh and a crore of rupees, they will get 50% of the money that is owed to them. Then the second leg of our proposal is, that's the contribution from us and from the brokers. We believe that all of us are in sync, Government of India, us, brokers, trading clients. Let us all put all efforts that we have at our disposal, and let's go ahead and recover this money from the defaulters. If a sum of only 1,800 crores is recovered from the defaulters of the 5,600 crores of pain that they have to do, we believe that this will take care of 50% of the balance amount that one has to pay for all trading clients who are supposed to receive between 10 lakh and a crore, and for all those who are, which is your so-called ultra HNIs who have to receive more than a crore, they will also receive 50%. In effect, 94% of trading clients will receive payouts, where some of them will receive close to about 50%, and some of them will receive about 100%. So
there
that's
are two issues
sure.
with this. One, you haven't approached the brokers in this. And secondly, the question of number of investors is now in question, because even NSEL is questioning the fact that of the 7,500 investors which are supposed to be paid out in the first, where you brought in 179 crores, they can only trace up to 3,500 investors. So how have you gone about approaching the brokers? Because brokers are not on board when earlier as well, when you were trying to come out with a settlement formula, which was being done on the behind when Mr. Jignesh was in the executive capacity, and now especially when the heat is on them.
So Sanjit, very fair point. Somebody had to take the first step. Currently what we saw is there is too much of negativity going around, right? Everybody is fighting with each other, attacks on us, attacks on brokers, etc. We decided somebody has to take a slightly first step with a resolution in mind. So we've made that first step in all earnest. In the details of the proposal that I shared with you, we went to the government, we've proposed a thing. We now believe the ball is in government's court. We are sure at some point of time government will consider this, whether they consider exactly this, they have a modification to this, we are not privy to that. Government will get in touch with the brokers. As I said, the principal context of this thinking or the thought process is, all of us will have to bring on table a resolution mindset. If everybody brings a partial resolution and a partial conflict mindset, I don't think this will flow through. Our approach is, we are showing that first step from our side. This again,
Mr. Desai, if I can interrupt you, sorry to interrupt you here, and just to take Sajid's point forward, because as you mentioned that you envisage this settlement, you've decided to take the first step, you would hope that the brokers will also participate and chip in with another 500 crore rupees. But what has been the response from the brokers so far, and what gives you the confidence that the government will entertain this settlement proposal in any fashion?
So, yeah, good question, Shireen. Two things. Have we approached the brokers? The answer to that is clear. As I said, somebody had to take the first step. We would believe that FTL is the first person who has now decided to take the first step. Will the government consider this? Not up to me. It's up to the government. And as I said, the principal construct of this is that everybody will have to have a resolution mindset. It is not something that I can achieve all on my own. So that's my first point. Second point, to answer Sajid's question in terms of the genuineness of the trading clients, etc. I'm saying that is an exercise which NSEL is doing on its own, Sajid. We don't want to interfere with that exercise. Our proposal has an underlying assumption. Our underlying assumption that all 13,000 probably are genuine. If they are genuine, they will get the claim. If they are not genuine, they will not get the claim. The way we are also proposing this is in a very, very open, transparent manner. There is a government of India that steps forward. Bombay High Court has already appointed a committee. Let that committee also participate. Let brokers also come in. Let the real genuine trading clients who are supposed to receive these payouts, let them also join in. All I am saying is we want to bring a lot more positivity from a resolution mindset. A lot of people
speaking of a resolution, Mr. Desai, and I'm sorry to interrupt you once again, but the government seems to have made up its mind as far as FTIL is concerned, and today the matter was taken up by the CLB. It's now been adjourned to the 14th of April. But the MCA petition is seeking the ouster of the FTIL board. The MCA petition alleges that the FTIL board is not fit and proper. It doesn't seem like the government is likely to buy a settlement proposal being put forward by FTIL on the face of it.
So, very good question, Shireen. Shireen, efforts are on our hand, results are not. Somebody had to make the first move. We believe we have done so. We've tried to be as fair as we thought we could be in proposing. Now the ball clearly is in the government's court, and as I was explaining to Sanjeev, we are not stopping the government from taking a path of conflict. They can go ahead, they can take a path of conflict. They have all the weaponry and arsenal in their capacity which they can use. As much as the weaponry and arsenal that they have to use against us, our view is we also have the court of law. We have the highest regard for India as a country. India as a democracy. We believe the institution of law in India are one of the most powerful all over the world. And make no mistake, we will fight that battle as well in the court of law. As regards your 396, 397, I'm saying government has a point of view on 397. We have a point of view on 397. Through your media and through your channel, let me just make a couple of perspectives which will give you some insight of what will probably pay out either in the court of law or company law board. The entire 12-member board that we have today, this board has only taken one decision thus far. Just one decision. And that decision has been to oppose the amalgamation of NSEL with FTIL. And why has that decision been taken? In fiduciary capacity to protect the interest of my 63,000 plus shareholders. Question to you today as media, isn't board justified in taking that stance? By ousting the board, what exactly do you think the government probably will do? They will, instead of opposing the amalgamation, they'll probably say, okay, as the new board, I will vote in favor of the merger. So I'm saying these are some of the arguments that will play out in a court of law. The question that today I pose to all of you, you guys are very experienced, is it fair? Is it just? 12 people, and you know some of these people.
Not for us, sir, not for us to make judgment calls on whether it's fair or not fair or what the government or what FTIL or NSEL or the PLB is likely to do on this matter.
Don't get me. I'm not saying.
But let me ask you.
Shirin, just one second.
But let me ask you, sir.
Sure.
Let me ask you whether in your capacity, now that you have decided to take the first step and put forward a proposal of some sort, which we are given to understand brokers are not on board with at this point in time. You're saying that you haven't reached out to the brokers to start with, but do you have the capacity to better this proposal, sir?
Look, it's a very hypothetical question. To a hypothetical question, what do you answer? The question is, if everybody, I look at life very simply, I live my life very simply. It is very simple. If everybody has a resolution mindset, I don't think this is that big a problem. If you look at US, for example, this whole credit default swap that happened, they resolved a problem of that big magnitude. You mean to say the government of India, us, the trading clients who are to receive the money and the settlement payout, and the brokers, all four of us together in this country, at this stage of this country, will not be able to resolve.
But why hasn't it been done, Mr. Desai, so far? That's the question even Shirin is asking, because you have been in discussion with brokers for over a year. Now, as a management, you may be new to FTIL, but the erstwhile management of FTIL was also in discussion with brokers as far as settlement is concerned.
From an just add to that, Mr. Desai, if I can just add to that, the sense one is getting is now that your back is pushed against the wall with the MCA pushing for either the merger and the ouster of the FTIL board, this proposal has hence been put on the table.
Correct. And it's fair to say anybody can have a view of point, and we'll respect that point of view. The question is, anytime we would have taken a first step, these allegations would have come on us that, okay, we are being attacked, and therefore, I am saying that's one way to look at it. The other way to look at it is at least we made the first step, and it's not just we who are under attack. There are a lot of other people who are under attack. That's first point of view. Second point of view, as I said, I live my life very simply. I can look at a resolution as a positive thing, or I can look at it as a negative thing. You choose to, or people may choose to look at it from a negative point of view. I am still choosing to look at it from a very positive perspective. And the positivity comes from the fact that if this solution gets resolved, look at where FTIL is standing today. Look at my net worth today. Look at the kind of cash that I am sitting on. Look at the kind of cash I will generate through a couple of other regulatory exits that I have to do. Look at the kind of team and talent that I am sitting with FTIL. We probably are one of the more innovative companies in the entire IT space. Look at where the country is. Look at the vision of our Prime Minister. Look at the kind of role that we can play in terms of growing value for my shareholder. You may say that, yes, I am pushed to the wall, and therefore I choose to believe I am doing this because I think I will be able to create far greater value for my shareholder over the next 3 to 5 years. And that's the principal reason behind this settlement. Yes, people may choose to look at it otherwise.
But is there a condition to this settlement? I mean, if brokers don't come on board, are you willing to go ahead with that entire settlement of 320 crores which you're willing to pay to some of the investors?
So, interesting question. There are some fine prints to the proposal.
So what are the fine prints?
Coming to that. The fine print says, so you have to understand this 320 crores or the 180 crores that FTIL has invested as a loan to NSEL. This is not my money. This money belongs to the shareholders of FTIL. As me, as somebody who represents the management in executive capacity, and then the board, depending on what a counter comes, the same proposal will need to be elaborated in detail at the board level. If we believe that this is still good and will create accretive value for FTIL shareholders, we will definitely consider it. But our view is with 320 crores, with the kind of positivity we want for everyone, it cannot be achieved. You have to understand, brokers will have to come in. Brokers will have to chip in. The privity of contract, I am repeating for the sake of repeating, Sajid, the privity of the contract the trading clients had with brokers and brokers had with NSEL. Suddenly they cannot come back and say, we made enough brokerages on it, we've done our business, we've made money, etc., etc., etc. But whenever it comes to resolution, you please chip in, government please chip in, defaulters please chip in, we will sit tight.
No, so the brokers who are the top 5 brokers, how much each one will have to pay? Because I'm sure you must have come out with a formula saying how. So how will the brokers amongst themselves divide this 500?
So as I said, what the brokers do, how they will come to it, how much will each of them contribute, it is their prerogative. What I am trying to say is, in the proposal that we have submitted a proposal on the grounds of equity. And the grounds of equity stems from the fact that as much money FTIL is giving, let the brokers also contribute equal amount. Our view is this is not the end of it. After FTIL contributes and after broker contributes, we have to then go after the defaulters. We want the defaulters to then contribute. It is only then when.
But that is something dependent upon the High Court committee when they are able to
sell the fine print, Saji. Yeah. So the fine print constitutes that. The fine print wants each of the constituency in this to be on board, not just government. Let the High Court appoint.
So it's conditional settlement offer which we are putting on the table. It is not conditional.
We are trying to put forward a perspective that for this to go through in a smooth manner where everybody is happy, there is a way to do this, and we believe the way is all of us have to come on board. All of us will probably have to think through with a positive ray of light and then come forward.
To say it plainly, the settlement offer goes through only brokers and the government of India approves the settlement. That's what, to say it plainly?
The answer to that is yes and no. The answer to this is the current proposal envisages an assumption of equity, right? So suppose everybody says, I will not contribute, let FTIL contribute. Will we say no? I am not saying we will say yes or no. I am saying whatever is the counter that we get, we will have to take it to our board.
Let me just, and I go back to the question that I asked you, sir, on whether you will better the settlement proposal that you've given to the government. As Sajid was pointing out, what if the brokers say that we're not going to chip in with the 500 crore rupees? Will you then, in addition to the 320 crores that you're offering to put down, take on some of that burden?
How does life work, Shirin? I make a proposal, either you agree with it or you disagree with it, right? So if you say I completely, entirely disagree with it, then the call is me whether I want to do this or not. And as I said, at that point of time, if FTIL board still feels that by doing this, we will be able to create incremental value for our shareholders, that's a call that the board will take. As I said, this is not just a board's call. We will then go to the shareholders will take that call. That's one. But does life work like this? Life never works in black and white. It's always in shades of grey. Our belief is we've made a very fair, just and equitable proposal to the government of India. Let the government of India go through this. If they have a different spin on this, if they have a counter to this, we will welcome such counter. We will understand that counter. We will wait at the board level, and then we'll come back with our view on that.
Before we let you go, Mr. Desai, and we appreciate you joining us here and taking us through the details of the settlement that you have proposed and now given to the government, but any indication of a timeline by when we could possibly hear from the government on this proposal? Is it likely to be before the 14th of April, which is when the CLB takes up your matter again?
Quite frankly, no idea. In fact, it's not 14th, it's 17th of April when CLB will hear the 397 thing. But one thing I can tell you, since you spoke about the timeline, Shirin, our view is, if all of us get on board, this settlement execution, which is what I was explaining to Sajid, that 7,000 people getting 100%, 5,000 people getting 50%, that in our view can be executed between 7 days and 30 days time. That's the kind of speed with which we are talking, provided everybody brings a certain degree of positivity on the table, brings a resolution mindset on the table.
And will it be done through the HCC, or will it be independent of what the High Court committee does?
Now, ideally, it should be done through the HCC. Therefore, it has a government stamp, it has the High Court stamp, everybody's concurrence is there. And I'm saying that is the best way possible in our view. Take everybody on board. Let's not leave anybody behind.
Mr. Desai, thank you very much for joining us today.